This demo I am going to go over how to create a presentation in iMovie. So to record a presentation and then maybe upload it to YouTube so that people can download that or view it online. So starting off, this is the iMovie interface. This demo is going to assume that you know some of the basics with iMovie, but I'll go quickly over the interface here. This is the working area. So any slides that you have here, or movies or media, will be included in your movie. This is the preview pane over here. So this is just going to show you part of what you've got in your working space. Down here is the event library, which I'm not going to get into. That's kind of beyond the scope of this tutorial. And then over here is an important part that is kind of relevant to the tutorial, and this is the browser area, where you can click on any of these items and it will show you content that you can add to your video that's relevant to these particular menus. So if I click on this toggle switch for titles, this gives me the title browser. And I'm just going to leave that up for now. So first of all, what you want to do before you even get this far is you want to practice or rehearse your presentation several times. You want to time it out so that you know how much time you're going to spend on each slide. This becomes very important in iMovie because what you end up having to do is you have to create a voiceover for each slide. So once you have practiced it and you've timed it out and you know, okay, for the first slide I'm going to be spending about 45 seconds on it, then you can actually start working and making the movie within iMovie. So get things started, we need to add some media in this project area, in this working space. So I'm going to open up my Finder, and in my Finder I'm going to find my pictures. And I have a folder here on the desktop that I'm working in here. So I have a bunch of these images here in this folder, and I'll just start dragging these items in here to create my slideshow. And once I have a few images in here, say I've got all the images for my slideshow in here, then I can go back into iMovie, and this is where you want to know how much time you're going to spend on each video. So if I mouse over this first slide, we see here that it's set to 4 seconds. What you want to do is double click on this slide, and then you can change the duration here. So since you've documented how much time you're going to spend on this first slide, here's where you want to change it. Say I want to spend actually 30 seconds on this first slide, so I can just click in there for the duration, add 30, click done, and that will make the change. For the next one, I'll go ahead and do the same thing. I'm going to double click. I actually want to have this slide up there for maybe 45 seconds. So I'll hit done, and so on and so forth. So this is how you make the changes to the duration of each of these slides. If you want to add a caption to any of these slides, the next step would be to select the slide where you want to add the caption, and then scroll down here to the theme area. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this theme, or excuse me, I'm going to click on this title, I'm going to drag it up, and I'm going to drop on this slide. So here's my text. I can edit it however I wish. For this next slide, I'm going to add another caption. I'll just click and drag it and drop it on here. And it creates, this is a different caption. Each caption is a little different. I wanted this one to be in the upper left corner, so that's the one that I used. So you kind of get the idea of how that works. So the last part of this is you're going to want to add audio to each of these slides as well. So to get started, I'm going to select the slide with which I'm going to add, where I'm going to add the audio, and then I can click on this button down here for voiceover. What it does is it asks me to click on a clip to start recording. So whichever clip I click on at this point is where the recording will start. And so it's warning me now that it's recording. You can actually see the progress of my recording as I'm working across this slide. When it gets done at the end of this slide, it's going to be over. So this particular recording will only go to the end of this slide, and you'll have to repeat this process for each individual slide. This is why it's so important to know kind of how long these slides need to be showing up for. So once that is all done, I can close down this voiceover box, and here I have my voiceover that pertains specifically to this slide. The last thing I'm going to show you is how to get rid of this Ken Burns effect, where you can kind of see these photos ease in and out so very slowly as you move through your video. To get rid of that effect, one way, I'm sure there's more than one way, this is the way that I found, is you click on, highlight or click on the slide that you're working with, right, and click on the little gear in the lower left corner here. And here there's cropping, Ken Burns, and rotation. You want to click on that. This shows you the green box is the start, the red box is the finish, so you can kind of see that this sort of eases out on this one. I'm just going to drag the start and the finish to be the same, and then that will eliminate the effect. So now that it's done, if I do the preview here, the photo remains static, which is probably a little bit more in keeping with the standard presentation sort of format. So those are the main things I wanted to touch on to show you how these kind of things work. The last thing I'll show you is how to upload this to YouTube. What you do is you go up to Share at the top, and then down here there's a YouTube option. You can just click on that, and this gives you all sorts of options. So you'll have to log in with your account name and your password for YouTube. You want to set the category to wherever it needs to be. I'd recommend education if this is for a course. And then title it and make sure that there's a description. It does need some tags in there as well. For the size to publish, I suggest doing large. If you have very small fonts in your captions, then you may want to go HD, but large should be sufficient. And then you want to make sure to not make this movie personal. This needs to be public, or else your instructor or your classmates won't be able to see it. Once you have all this set up, then you just hit next, and it will take you through the update process. You do have to agree to their terms of service or whatever, and then it will actually begin that upload. Now, in case your instructor is using something that is not YouTube, say if your instructor wants you to upload your movie to Google Drive or something along those lines, you're going to go about that differently. You want to go up to this Share, and then from Share you want to Export Movie. And when you go into Export Movie, that opens up this dialog. It's somewhat similar to the YouTube dialog, and I would suggest the same thing. Just save it as large, and then put it in the place where you're going to want to store that file, where you can upload it from later. And then as soon as you click export, it'll start the process. Now it may take some time depending on how long your movie is, but just give it time, and it'll crank through it. And then once you've uploaded it to your Google Drive or wherever that's going, then you're all done. So thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope it's been helpful.